Hey, it's Keith from Amped Publishing. Today I'm going to review and demo a new software called Quiz Funnels. What Quiz Funnels is it allows you to create quizzes or surveys for your site visitors to fill out, or maybe you're emailing it to your list. And what it does is it matches outcomes based on what or how the user answered those questions. Okay, so you could basically tailor an offer to depending on what and how the user answered your questions. Okay, so you can really start to to segment basically the users that are taking these quizzes or surveys. So what it'll also allow you to do, which I'll walk through here, is you can actually segment these users into your list, into your autoresponder, based on how they've answered the question. So let's go ahead and take a look at Quiz Funnels. So right here you can see I have a dashboard, and I've created a few quizzes here. It just gives you a brief overview of the views, the leads, conversion rates, the CTA clicks that you're going to get, and social shares. You can go ahead and edit, publish, unpublish, archive, delete. You can export the leads from here as well if you don't hook up to an autoresponder. Duplicate, and then of course your embed codes for these quizzes. Now it does have a little bit more in-depth data. We can hit the show data button here. And it gives you a nice little snapshot of the times taken, how far on average everybody got through the quiz, the average time spent, your clicks, conversion rates, leads, and then actually your outcomes, just to see exactly. So in this particular one, I have 3 questions, so it's basically showing you how many people chose which answer. Okay, so in this particular one, I just evenly answered them. Gives you your views, your starts, how many people started the quiz, how many people completed, your shares, and then activity over time. So you can kind of see. Now this is obviously just today, because this is when I just installed the software, just signed up for the software. So you'll be able to see that as well. So let's go ahead and jump back over here. Now we have some account settings, your basic settings, your name, email, company URL, a way for you to update your password. There's a help and support section here as well. So they have some pretty good training that leads you pretty much all the way through the steps of creating a quiz, and these pretty much match up to the order that you're gonna build the quiz, and I'll show you that as well. And then they have some extra training in here, how to write a custom quiz, best practices, just some other helpful tips for you, to get you started. And of course they have integrations. Now, so with this one, there's not too many integrations that are built in right now. Now they do have the export option, so you can always get those leads and put them into whatever autoresponder you currently use. I spoke with the developer, and he says over the next couple of weeks they'll be adding. This is really their main concentration after their main launch, is to just keep adding more and more autoresponders to the software. Okay, so what I've done, I've created a little quiz, and I chose to go more the fun route. So I picked the survival niche, and I've just did a fun little quiz about would you survive a zombie apocalypse. Okay, so to me, if I have a user coming to my site, I want it to be something entertaining, because I really want them to take this quiz, and basically in the end, that end result is to get them to my offer. Okay, so now you could certainly use this to survey current customers you have for your software or service. I'm asking about features, what kind of features they'd like to see, or just kind of keep it fun. I mean, you can do anything. Just really depends on your business. So with this one here, I've built it out, and I'm going to go ahead and just walk through it all though, and show you how I set that up. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll edit this one. Okay, so you're going to see this is basically the I guess wizard in the steps that you'll take, that you'll follow setting up a quiz or a survey. You'll get a nice little live preview as you start to build this over here. So what you have is basically just your quiz name. This is not your users will not see this. This is simply internal for you. You can drag an image or upload an image here. So this is basically your kind of start page. This is what folks will see, whether you send them directly to this hosted page, or if you have it embedded in one of your sites. And I'll show you that at the end, how the different ways you can embed these quizzes. So you'll see this is what you'll basically see right away. So your quiz title, would you survive a zombie apocalypse? A little description here. Okay, so what I've done is said I'm just giving them direction basically. Click the start quiz button below to see if you're prepared to survive. And then I also tell them that a free gift is at the end, so it gives them a little bit of incentive to actually start this quiz and finish it. Okay. So you'll have a little description there. There's different call to action buttons that you can have. So you can have just start, and you'll see that updates there. Start my assessment. Whichever you'd like to use. I just use start quiz. You can enable or disable social sharing. This will basically display the social buttons at the end of the quiz, if you have this enabled or not. We also have a start page, so you can enable the start page. I'll show you what this is more towards the end once we complete the setup here. But you can choose to turn it off if you don't want them to hit this start page, which is basically this right here. So if you have it disabled, they won't see this. They'll go right into question number 1 and would skip this part of it. So depending on what your use is for it, is whether you'll have that enabled or not. And down here, you're going to see your integration. So whatever integrations you have hooked up, you can set those. Now what this will do is this will take everybody who took this quiz is going to basically go into whatever list you've segmented to. Okay. Now I say that because as we get further into the to building out this quiz, you'll see that you can actually segment based on how they answer, based on what their outcomes are. Okay. So you can if you have 3 different offers that you wanted to do, and probably like a beginner, a novice, or an expert, it might be 3 separate offers, right? And you really want to know where this particular visitor falls. Okay, so you can promote to him the right way and then continue to promote to him or her the right way after they've taken the quiz. So that we have that. Now you have some customizations over here. You can upload a logo. They give you a recommended size. I haven't done so, but you can add that. You can choose font types, background colors, font colors, button colors, and the button font colors. So you'll see that will basically update on the fly. So I'll just go ahead and put it back to my green button there. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is just go ahead and save and create the outcomes. Now I have the outcomes created here. Now the other little thing here I just wanted to talk about is they have a nice little help feature here that will basically kind of help you define each of what the fields are that you're going to see. So if you do want that to happen, you can simply just click that button there. Okay, so now I have 3 outcomes that I've created. Okay, so as you roll over them, you're going to be able to see just a little snapshot of which outcome that is. Okay, so the few that I have are no chance of survival, you have a chance, or you would rule this new world. Now, if you want to add more outcomes, you would just simply hit the plus button here, and it will basically display all of these settings here. Okay. So what I've done on my first outcome, I've basically created you have no chance of survival. Okay, so based on how they're going to answer my 3 questions, which I'll show you next, is if they've answered the 3 particular questions in a certain way, this is what would show up. Okay. You can have a title, you have no chance, so it'll show up here. You can have images, you can insert video, it can just be text, whichever, however you'd like to set that up, you can go ahead and do so. And I'll show you exactly where this shows up at the end of the quiz. Okay, so now here's what I was talking about, segmenting the outcome. So if this particular user lands on this outcome, you can actually send them to a specific segment of your list. Okay, so when I've configured this quiz, if I would have actually selected one of those integrations, then those would show up here in this drop down menu. So I could have basically a segment for all quiz takers, and then I can have a segment for this particular outcome. Okay, so for this outcome it's a no chance, so I'm basically want to offer beginners. Okay, these are very beginning survivalists. So I want to put those into the correct list so I can continue to market to them more beginner type courses or offers that I have. Okay, so what you can do is you just go ahead and you'd save that outcome. Now my second outcome, I have just a plain text outcome. All right, so this is kind of the you have a chance of survival. So it's more of the novice type of offer I'm gonna show these folks. So again, you can add your images, your videos, your text, however you'd like to do it, and you can segment this outcome as well. Okay, because I'd want them to go into more of a novice type of offers that I'd have. And my third one basically I just deleted it. Give me 1 second here, I'll recreate it. You would rule this world. All right, and I had an image in here, which, let's see here. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. All right. And we have a nice picture of Daryl from The Walking Dead, if anyone's a Walking Dead fan. All right, so then I can obviously segment this list, as well, okay, depending on how they answer that question. All right, so I'm going to save this outcome. All right, so now I've got my 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to save and create questions, okay? So now I have 3 questions already, and they are down here, okay? So as again, you can roll over each of them, or just go ahead and do question number 4. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just click on question number 1. Okay, so now the first question I ask is, how does this image make you feel? Okay, so I put a scary zombie picture there, and I create 3 different answers. Terrified, I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley, or very angry. Now, what you can do is you basically can match these up to one of your outcomes, okay? So if somebody selected terrified in here, I'm going to select outcome number 1, because that was the kind of beginner survivalist path. Same with number 2, okay? So they're novice, so they may survive, may not. I want to give them more novice type offers. Now, number 3, very angry, means, okay, you're probably pretty bad, and you could probably handle it and probably survive. So what you would do is you would click that little button and you would choose the outcome. So this is the one you would rule the world, right? So you have a little rollover so you can kind of see which one you're picking, and you would rule this world. So that's the outcome I would want to match if they chose this particular answer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and save. All right. And what I'm going to do is actually go back to number 2 so I can show you that. So with this one we have, can you identify this plant? Okay, it's poison ivy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is if they said fern, I'm going to say, okay, you're definitely a beginner. If you said not sure but probably shouldn't eat it, all right, so you've got some kind of some kind of skill there. So I put them in more of the novice. Now if they guessed poison ivy, they know their plants. Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead and match that up to the number 3. Okay, so that's the more expert survivalist. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. Go back to number 3, and it says, can you start a fire without matches or a lighter? Again, if you can do it, okay, so I want to pick here, I want to choose the outcome, and I want the expert to do it. Nope, you're going to be a beginner, and maybe, you're novice. You might be able to get away with it. All right, and we'll go ahead and save and create new. Okay, and actually let me hop back one here. You can also do a little bit of customization here. So you can, the answer hover color, you can choose not to be this blue color. I'm just leaving it as default right now. And then the answer box color as well. You can change, you can customize those to fit more, more your color scheme. Okay, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and save and configure leads. Okay, so if I did want to, capture these leads, I can go ahead and select the on button. Now, if you capture these leads and you don't have an autoresponder hooked up, that's okay because they do have the export option. So this is the part you would want to leave this on if you do want to actually have them fill out a form. Okay, so you can capture those leads in 2 ways. Number 1 is this form here. Number 2 is by their Facebook login information, okay, and that will go right into your autoresponder as well, their name and their email address. Your capture headline, whatever you want this headline to be, so fill out the form. And your capture text, okay, so you'll have to receive offers about surviving. Fill out the form below, or whatever you want to write there. You can have different call to actions that you can go, because now the reason that you'd want this is because of the placement. Okay, so you can place it after the quiz or before the quiz. Personally, I'd put it before the quiz because I want to capture that lead. So in here you might want to say begin, or it just really depends on what you're using this for. Now you can also put a Facebook Pixel ID, okay? Because you're allowed to. They're going to give you an embed form that you can actually put this into a Facebook tab on any of your Facebook fan pages, okay? So this way you can start to do some retargeting. Now you can also enable different fields, last name, phone number. Whichever you'd like to to enable for that. Now you can also put this enable skip, so if you don't want to force them to fill out that form to go ahead and take the quiz, especially if you have it before, if you're starting it before the quiz, you can put the skip this step on there. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it disabled for the sake of this demonstration. Now you can also put some disclaimer text, as you'll see, it's right here. That's where that would go. And you can put your disclaimer URL. So if you have a, some sort of a disclaimer on your regular website, you can certainly just put that URL here. It just helps, people feel more comfortable when they're submitting information to you to make sure, number one, that you're legit, that you took time to create a privacy policy and disclaimer. So you can go ahead and put that URL there, and then this will link to it. Okay. So what we'll do is, let's see, I'm going to leave the, actually, yeah, we'll leave it on. I'll just have the skip option there. Okay, now your offers. Okay, so what you're going to have now is this is basically going to be the offer you're going to give them depending on their outcome. Okay, so you'll see here the 3 outcomes that I've created are all listed here, and you can add different offers for different outcomes. So the first one I have here is the no chance. So this is definitely the beginner. Okay, so my offer is going to be something with survival basics for beginners. Okay, so maybe I'm giving them, a free something, a free download, some sort of free checklist, some sort of free beginner's guide, whatever it may be. So what I'm going to do is there's different types of offers that I can create. Okay, I can create this. This is a video offer with CTA. So you'll see you have a chance to embed a video as well as the call to action button. We have just a straight video offer, image offer with headline and CTA, image offer, text offer with CTA. Okay, so you have a bunch of different choices there to go ahead and do. And you're going to have a call to action depending on what it is. It could be learn more, download, shop now. You may be giving some sort of a discount if it's more of an e-com, type of a of a quiz about a product. Whatever it is that you choose to do. Then of course your call to action URL. Right now I just have Google in here because I don't have an actual URL to send them to. All right, so here is the video offer link. So that is the actual video. Now what I can do, if I don't want to have different offers for each of the outcomes, but I still want to have different outcomes, I can save and apply it to all. So I could use this particular one if it's just a generic offer that I'm going to offer to everybody. I will just go ahead and hit save and apply to all. So that way if I have 4 different outcomes, I can just have one offer lead to them all, not have to set them up all individually. In this case, I went a little bit more advanced because I want to give different offers to depending on how they've answered the questions. Okay, so my second offer I just did with a text and a CTA. Okay, so this is for the novice where you want to maybe sharpen your skills. I'm going to offer some sort of of a course or whatever it may be, and I'm going to send them to a website here. Okay, so you can have your offer headline, the description, which you see here. Again, the call to action. Again, the URL where to send them. And you can certainly disable these for for any of these outcomes as well. Now my third one, because I've deleted it, I'm going to have to go ahead and create it again. All right. So what I'm going to have here is let's just do a quick text one just for the sake of demonstration. So or actually let's do an image offer. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and choose an image because at this point, if they ended up in this area, well, let's see. We can use, yeah, I guess that picture of Daryl again. Okay, so this particular offer, I'm using this here, and what I'm going to do is actually, let me change that again. Let me do the image offer with that's what I wanted with the headline and CTA. Okay. So I'm going to say something like, become a survivalist instructor. Okay, and what I'm going to say is learn more, and I'm going to send them to, some sort of offer, and I'm just going to put Google in there for now, and go ahead and apply and save that offer. Okay. Okay, good. All right, so now I have all of the offers set up. Okay, so I'm good to go. And I'm going to go and move on to review and publish. Okay, so right here you're going to see the live preview. You can have set up a custom URL if you want. If you want to name it something for tracking purposes, by all means go ahead and do so. Otherwise, it's going to provide a URL that you can use if you're sending it to your email list. You can certainly do that. Or if you want to hook it to a custom button on your site that says, you know, hey, take this quiz now, get a free prize, you know, whatever it may be, you can certainly do that as well. And this will lead them to the quiz funnel hosted page. Now they give you 3 other options actually to embed these in your own sites. Okay, so there's an embed code here which you can stick into the content area of your site. There's an embed in an iframe. Now this is mainly used, as it says here, for your Facebook tab. Okay, so if you want to embed this in a Facebook tab on one of your pages, this is the code, the copy and paste code you would use, and you can change that iframe and height and width here as well. And you can also use it as a pop-up. So I have it actually set as a pop-up on one of my just test sites here that you can take a peek at. This is just a blank page in WordPress. But if I were to go ahead and refresh that, you'll see here that there is my quiz. So I can actually take this quiz inside of this pop-up if I'd like, or embed it onto the page, or put it in a Facebook tab, or just send them right to this quiz URL that you're given here as well. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and just take the quiz. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and just refresh. Let me make sure that I've got the right link here. Yep, okay, all right. So what I'll do is go ahead and start that quiz. Now I put this and I have the skip here, so if I could fill this out or simply skip it, so I'm going to just skip it. So how does this make me feel? So right now I'm going to say it makes me feel terrified. Can I identify this plant? Yeah, I think it's a fern. And can I start a fire without matches or a lighter? Nope. Okay. So what that's going to do now is, you'll see, that has bringing me to the outcome and the offer of my basic for my basic users, right? So you'll see here's the video, here's the download button, the CTA, which again is just going to Google, and then the quiz result. Okay, so here's the outcome. So with this is where you want to use, to basically, give them a little of analysis on, where they landed by taking this quiz. If you want to, again, you don't have to include these. It's just more information, adding more value, to them taking the quiz and just giving them something. So in this one, I have you have no chance. Get some survival training before it's too late. They're going to go ahead and watch this video and then click that download link to grab whatever it is that I'm giving them. So now, if I were to reset this, okay, as a new user, and I come through. We'll skip that step again. And I'm going to say, okay, this makes me feel very angry. I know this is poison ivy, and yes, I can create a fire without matches or lighter. Okay, so now I basically, hey, I'm an expert, so I want to become a survival instructor. Here is, you would rule this world. I can put in here whatever type of information. Maybe it's a little bit about my, my camp, or my survivalist camp, or my program, and I want them to become an instructor, and I want them to learn more. So I would go ahead and click that button. They would come over to that offer on how to basically become an instructor. So what will happen is we'll go ahead and reset it one last time. We'll start the quiz, skip this step. Okay, so now what's going to happen if I were to select, okay, this makes me terrified. This one here is, well, I'm not sure, but this one here is yes, it is. Okay, so what it's going to do is it's going to put me in the beginner. So it's basically using an average depending on what they've selected and determining what offer should be made. Now, the more answers that you provide on each of the questions that you ask, and the more questions you have, the better you're going to be able to hone this in to something very specific. Okay, so I just used, it was very simple. It was just 3 questions, 3 answers for each. It's really not much for the engine to kind of determine what, they're very obvious answers onto where that's going to lead me. So the more that you put in there, the more that engine can use and base those results on. Okay. Okay, so let's go take a look at the dashboard. Let's take a look at the statistics that I've got out of this. Okay, so you'll see here's my would you survive. These are the views, which are all me, my leads, my conversion rates, the CTA clicks, and the social shares. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at everything that we have in here over time. So you're going to see that again, which is all me. It's giving you outcomes, and you'll see your leads, your times taken, and all that good stuff. And you can certainly filter that by all times. So that's basically